Welcome to another episode of It's Been 2 Weeks. I'm Will, and
I'm John.
This is basically the third episode. I'm sure some of you enjoyed the interview that I had with Benji.
I'm sure no one enjoyed it.
You never know. I mean, people might. It was a weird. Did you listen to it?
I did listen to it.
It was definitely different. I mean, that's what's. I guess we could talk a little bit about this because I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. But originally, when I was thinking about doing my own podcast and everything like that, I was thinking about doing interviews with other people, just like interviewing people and just releasing their stories and all that stuff. Eventually, it just kind of became what it is, which is a current events podcast and shit like that. And yeah, I feel like this is a lot more what I want rather than doing just interviews every day or something or every podcast. But I mean, I'm just waiting on anybody to tell me just keep doing interviews so I could have some more people to interview and feature them here and there.
Just do it anyways, and then just have them in the bank, dude.
I mean, that's what I did with that. For you guys probably don't know, but I did do an interview with John.
It's true, he did, and I did an interview with Will.
But that one, unfortunately, the mic quality isn't so great, so we're gonna redo that hopefully sometime. But yeah, that's how that basically started. But John, it's been 2 weeks.
It has been, and it's been, I don't want to say a slow 2 weeks, but it's been a very specific 2 weeks, I guess.
I think slow isn't the right word. Specific sounds more like its thing, because quite frankly, what has the news cycle been for you?
A certain list. Well, that and like we were talking about earlier, that kidnapping.
Yeah, the kidnapping.
But aside from that, it's all about
it hasn't been anything
certain
else. Like
certain someone on a certain list.
I wonder who. I forgot what they said it was, but basically she pleaded the fifth for every fucking thing and everything like that, even though she already fucking perjured herself. Like, that's the reason why she's in prison. To the stuff that she even already fucking said that she was, guilty of.
Yeah, the last I remember her hearing was whatever, like I said, it's not a pardon, but she said she would exonerate Trump, and I forgot who else.
Clinton.
If basically, I think basically if they just kind of drop the charges, or if she gets, it's not a pardon.
Was it clemency?
Clemency, yeah, there you go.
Which I don't know what that means.
I'm not. It's not a pardon, and I think she still would probably have to do prison time, but I think it's still going to be in that minimal security prison.
I imagine it would be something like that. It wouldn't be anything like major or anything of that sort. I don't know. To me, it's already fucked up from the beginning. Like the fact that that she was transferred to that facility, the fact that she's already making demands that she would fucking, clear the air with these two individuals.
Well, I know there's one of the big points of contention was she's not even supposed to be in the facility like that. She should be in a maximum security.
Exactly. Yeah.
But she's not. So
I don't know. This all just kind of sounds like tit for tat, kind of bullshit where they're not even taking the whole thing serious, like the whole process. It's like, I'll lie for you as long as you let me,
you let me off, basically.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Well, this whole fucking fiasco is just, or not, this whole thing has been a fiasco. Like, it's just, there's nothing legitimate about any of it. Like, the investigation or they're not doing anything. It's just all like kind of posturing.
Yeah.
And now what, the FBI or was it the FBI or the DOJ says like they found no evidence to support any sort of trafficking. That it was. I
didn't hear. I would imagine it was probably the DOJ.
Yeah, they're like, no, there's DOJ's. No. Well, I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it was the FBI because they said they finished their investigation.
Did they?
I think so.
This is bullshit. What is it? Cash Patel? I don't know.
But they found supposedly no evidence of trafficking going on.
But the files don't say that, though. The files literally.
Well, during that hearing with Bondi and shit, they weren't even talking about they were talking about the files, but one of the things was like you have a group of survivors standing behind you, and they were asked directly, how many of you reached out to the DOJ and the FBI? And they all raised their hand. How many of you have been able to talk to anyone in the DOJ or the FBI? And none of them have been able to. Like, no one wants to talk to them.
They've just been ignored, basically.
Yeah.
That's like...
Which goes against the DOJ and the FBI saying we're following every possible lead. So...
Yeah, like I kind of felt like that was the case. Like they're just like not really investigating it or anything of that sort. They're just kind of letting it.
I mean, look, I'm not a professional, but doesn't seem like there's a lot to investigate. I mean, you have
emails.
You have lists, bro. You have lists.
Emails of just like a lot of like very very suspicious activity. You know.
I wasn't even paying attention to a lot of the crazy shit, but there's like cannibalism mentioned and shit.
That's something that I saw just kind of being thrown around in social media, but there's a video that's recirculating, and it was about this Mexican model. That was,
I remember, yeah.
That video.
I don't think she's Mexican. She's Latin American of some sort, but I don't think she was Mexican.
Well, and I think it was in Mexico that she was in, or something like that. But this model is basically saying like all these people are like, and she's saying it in Spanish. She's like saying these people were eating humans, these atrocities that they were committing and so forth. And she sounds very hysterical. And mind you, this was what, like maybe in the 90s.
Was it 90? I thought it was early 2010s. It's been over 20 years at least.
Okay, so then maybe like the 20s, like the 20s or something like that. But like she was basically
2000s.
Oh, the 2000s, yeah. But she was basically like, she sounds hysterical. She sounds like a fucking crazy woman and shit.
And she was famous. She was like a legit like model or actor or something like that.
And so then she's like, she's screaming this out into the void and shit. And then everyone's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, bitch.
They thought she just went nuts.
She went loony and emails are circulating with all that stuff. And it's like, you know what? It's like you said the last time. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that they started doing.
It's funny because maybe funny is the wrong word, but like after the whole Pizzagate came out, like all the stories about shit going on there, and then like I looked into it and I listened to a couple podcasts talking about it, and it's very, very like conspiratorial. Mm-hmm. Like it's the funny part is like the shit that I would see, hear, read, or whatever when looking into the Pizzagate stuff is kind of fucking literally almost the same exact word for word type shit in the Epstein files. Like even going back to like, because I know there was mention of cannibalism in the Epstein shit. I think they even talked about like, I don't remember, but sacrifices, like dead people,
like almost like Illuminati type shit.
Yeah, basically. And that was shit that they were talking about in the Pizzagate shit, and they would talk about, I forgot who it was. But they in their house they had artwork from a very specific female artist, and who had trauma in her life, and a lot of her art depicted that,
right?
But it involved kids from her.
Shit.
So, and it's just I mean, I guess I should really look into it and come up with examples for next time. But like I said, a lot of it just seems like it went from being outlandish and pretty cartoonish to being like, it's one of those things, dude. I guess truth really is stranger than fiction.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing too. Because like I was thinking about that too. Like, because I mean, look, this is all the things that I saw in passing immediately, like within the first week of when the whole Epstein files were released. A lot of these videos and a lot of tweets were being circulated about, like, you know, all the kind of Illuminati shit, or just like ritual sacrifices and cannibalism and all that shit. And, you know, like I remember back in like maybe like fucking like more than 20 years ago that people were talking about bullshit like that was going on, you know, like this was all speculation back in like the late 90s and the early 2000s, you know, like stuff that we speculate, like, oh, you know, you would hear from like this fringe fucking video on like TV where they talked about like things like that, you know, like rich people like eating other humans and all these ritual sacrifices and shit like that.
It's some reptilian shit, bro.
I know. That's the thing. And then you also hear about the reptiles and all these fucking conspiracy theories. And it's like, it's fucking crazy that it's like, that I'm going to have to fucking say it. They were probably right.
I mean, minus, you know, I can't even say minus the reptilian part because at this point, I don't fucking know what's real or not. But it's, I don't know. For me, I find it really funny growing up, like listening to a lot of conspiracies, and then as I got older, like actually like enjoying looking into them. Not that I believe them all,
right?
But I'm not saying I dismiss them all. You know what I mean? And it like at this point in my life, it's like maybe, and this, you know, the like stuff like the Pizzagate one and shit, like they were kind of more outlandish. Where it's like,
before you start, like that's one of the things about like conspiracy theories is that there's enough truth.
There's always truth.
There's enough truth in them for you to like disregard the outlandish shit. You get me?
It's the truth is there as the foundation, and it's just all the craziness is
on top of it.
Yeah,
exactly. But continue with
what I was gonna say was the thing that gets me the most about, I guess, the Epstein files or that whole situation. At this point, it's not even like the mentions of cannibalism. It's the fact that it's like a global kind of situation.
Yeah,
it's not just U.S. You know, Americans. It was.
It's not even just U.S. or even Western worlds.
Yeah, it
had a lot of people. It's what we think of the dark web, essentially. You get me? Like, you know, like the thoughts that you know that it was like maybe like fucking like some random fucking Croatian shit that was like happening. You know,
this is some Taken level shit.
Yes.
Like it's almost like it's legit, kind of almost like some Illuminati bullshit.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
like it's really fucking weird.
Yeah. And then I also saw a quote or something like that where if we like where it said where if they prosecuted all the people on the list, the whole system would collapse. Well, they fucking let it collapse. Wow. Let it collapse because clearly like it's not worth to keep all like if you're making that that sum equation where like we need to let this happen because otherwise the whole fucking thing will shatter. Well, then it's already fucked. Let it shatter. It's already fucked. At this point, just let it fucking shatter. Because like we can't be living on this sort of situation from a moral perspective. I can't accept it. Like we can't let our system have that sort of blood, like the blood tie or that sort of blood on its hands.
Yeah,
because it's just fucking atrocious, dude.
I go back to the hearing that they had with Bondi, right? That's her.
Yeah, Pam Bondi.
Yeah, Bondi.
They fucking roasted
she,
her.
You know, the Dow's over 50,000, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah,
and then she goes on, like, you know, Americans' 401ks are, you know, the best they've ever been. I remember hearing that and thinking, like, I have a 401k. And honestly, I'd rather have it not be okay than have it be okay under the power of pedophiles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if me having a decent 401k relies on kids getting fucked, then I'd rather not have a decent 401k. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, that's the least of my problems.
just to be a dick here, your shoes are made by kids, dude.
Yeah, but are they being fucked? Not economically.
No,
I'm talking about physically, literally.
I mean, they might be getting beaten up, but they're not getting fucking like.
That's different.
Hopefully, they're not getting sexually like molested or anything of that sort. But I mean,
yeah, but they're not American kids. They don't count.
Jesus,
no, I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
I know I get what you're saying, but it's one of those things though where it's like,
let me just clarify. I just bring it up like
I get it.
Fucking, like, you know, but I mean, it's just one of those things where like, yeah, I don't want my money or my fucking prosperity to be tied to how many kids get literally fucking sexually abused. You know, like if you tell me, oh, you're gonna be fucking good financially, but every time that you make $1, 3-4 kids are getting sexually abused right now. Like, nah.
Well, to me, that seems kind of outrageous. It's like, why does it take 3 to 4 kids to be raped for me to make $1?
Yeah,
it should be 1-to-1 that ratio. Like, I mean, come on.
No, but I mean, like that's you get me. Like that's because even 1-to-1, obviously, it's fucking horrible.
Oh,
like, regardless. So you know, but I mean, just to kind of get that point across, and so I'm saying this from my own personal point of view. If you are okay with the system the way that it is right now, where pedophiles are allowed to fucking live in existence, or at least these rich pedophiles, you yeah, you're a fucking piece of trash, honestly, in my eyes.
Okay, here's the thing too. It's like, if you're the average Joe Blow pedophile on the street, you're probably thinking like, oh shit, everything's coming to Millhouse for me.
Yeah.
You're not rich enough, my friend. Mm-hmm. You are not rich enough. Like, so I still don't see what, someone on your team is in charge of the country, but they still don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean?
And it's not to say that we shouldn't go after the fucking poor, the poor pedophiles. I just want to clarify, but it's just more so like the fact that these rich people are being allowed just because of their fucking socioeconomic status. They're allowed to do this bullshit, which is fucking. I guess it could be brought back to the point where it's like, if you're rich, you could commit crimes.
You could do anything you want.
You could do anything you want. You know who to talk to and all that stuff. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You're poor though, you're fucked. You're getting extra fucked because not only are you fucked economically and social or just class status, but you're also getting fucked by the law, probably harsher than what a rich person would if they had to do some sort of time served.
Yeah.
So there's a huge disparity there,
And the disparity thing that you brought up, it's like there's
it's a system that's been perpetuated for such a long time. Do you get me? Like, it's kind of, it's grandfathered in, and we the lower class have kind of just learned to accept it, right? We never really get angry. We're just kind of like, well, yeah, he's rich, he's gonna fucking get off. We just accept it. We just let it pass over. But the thing is, it's like we are as years have gone, we're slowly kind of getting to the point where we're getting really pissed off at the rich, to the point where we're kind of starting to grow closer together. And I just need that shit to happen faster, because we need to take down the rich, and we need to fucking just restructure that whole fucking system.
I think a lot of that comes from celebrity, especially back in the day, because how many times, through basically all my life, I remember when, a celebrity fucks up, unless it's a really big fuck up, nothing really happens to them. You know what I mean? And everyone just kind of, I don't know if it's forgives, but they just forget or move on. You know what I mean? They just kind of get fucking Jenner fucking killed 2 people. Nothing happened. And this is the only person I intentionally misgender, because fuck him. Fuck him for killing 2 people and just being able to get away scot-free.
That is true.
I'm sorry, but I don't mean to be like that, but you don't deserve that.
I
step the fuck up.
I won't misgender her, but I think that, to me at least, is acceptable that she get misgendered, because quite frankly, never have I seen someone fucking ask for people to accept her and then immediately turn her back and just fucking take a piss on everyone.
My thing is, look.
And this is not counting the
but my thing with that was, you identify as a woman, great. I'm sure those 2 people identified as living, and you didn't respect that. So why should I respect?
No, I totally get where you're coming from.
It has nothing to do with the transgender thing. No. I'm like, go fuck yourself with your being on the cover of fucking magazine and all that shit. And I know that stuff happened before the accident, but that just doesn't sit right with me. And I know that's a different tangent, but it's just one of those things where they're just, people got so used to there not being consequences for a certain segment of our population that it's just reached this level where it's like there's no accountability at all whatsoever. Yeah.
And it's for people who have clout and money, all those people have always they live in a different world that in comparison to the one that we live in. Because we fucking live in fear of whether we have enough for the next day, whether we have it, whether we want to make sure that we don't fuck up in any sort of way. We this is shit like that. Or there's other people that live in a different situation where they have to fucking steal to fucking just try to secure some food or something like that, or whatever fucking they do. Whatever. I think about crime and how how people a lot of times end up being oh, there's so much crime, and it's it's so bad, and crime is the reason why we're living in this sort of fucking shitty situation. Is why does crime exist? Let's go to the root of that. Why does crime exist? Because people can't find work, or maybe because like what you call it, the economy is bad, or because things are too damn expensive. Like it could be one of those many factors. And then from there you go. It dismantles everything. Crime exists because there's a need. Like, why would you want to do crime? Yes, there's probably some like a few fucking people that are like
there's always just bad people.
Yeah, there's always just bad people. But like the reason why there's so much crime is because people need to fucking like they either need money, they need fucking and that money to purchase either food or whatever the fuck it is, whether it be drugs or whatever it is. Let's just be real, because also
it's a socioeconomic issue.
Yeah,
whether it be like shitty schools, shitty shitty education, shitty programs like after school shit. Keep kids out and stuff like that. Again, fucking birth control. If you don't have fucking proper birth control, you're gonna have people spitting out fucking kids. Can't afford those fucking. You know what I mean? It's like this huge systemic thing where there's no. It's like there's no one single solution. It's like this.
It's so interlocked in too many things that where like you need to attack it as a whole, and it needs to be done like all at once. It can't be just done one piece by piece. It has to be attacked on all of its venues or in all of its fronts, and it has to be done at the same time. This kind of reminds me of the conversation we had about homeless last time when we were like when all that stuff, where like they tried one solution and it's not working out, and then they blame the fucking solution, but they didn't really do like the whole fucking thing. Like you need to kind of like do like a fucking multi-prong attack and make sure that you stick with it, because the solution wouldn't be let's lock all the fucking people who are stealing up, because that doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, you just have to end up building more prisons at some point.
After a certain point. And another thing too, the prison system here is for profit. It's
not built for reform.
It's not built for reform. It's just built for punishment. And don't get me wrong, people should be punished, but at the same time, you have to reform them so they could reintegrate back into society, because those people are going to get released at a certain point. And they're going to be, and the prison system itself is already so fucked up. What does it do?
Yeah.
It creates more criminals, or more people who are
worse criminals,
people who are jaded by society because they felt like they were excluded and just fucking put into the can, and forgotten. And they come out to they come out to a world that doesn't want them anymore. They can't get hired because they have a fucking a rap, People can't trust them to do anything in work because they're going to automatically think, oh, this guy's going to probably end up stealing something or something like that. You get me? There's already like the society is already thinking bad of these people that just got out of prison. And you never know if that person actually did fucking reform,
Well, the other thing too is like, just think about how quick everything changes like in the span of a year. Even if you're someone just locked up for 5 years, the world changes really fucking quick without you.
Yeah.
Like you kind of stay sedentary in that prison. But once you're out, it's a completely fucking different world.
Exactly.
So imagine being locked up for 10, 15, 20 plus years, and then you're out. You're a fucking baby, dude.
Yeah.
You have to start all over.
You essentially do. Because, I mean, like, you go in there, you go into a time box, and then the world's gone. Yeah. The world left you behind.
Yeah, they don't wait for you.
They don't wait for you.
Everything moves forward.
And then, like, what if whatever family members you thought you were going to be able to come back to are no longer there? It's fucked up. There's no system. There's no system here in play that I feel in the United States that truly helps people who have fallen off or people who are in need. There are only band-aid systems that help kind of like keep people afloat in a certain way, but they're just like there's no real like dedication or real effort, I guess is the best word, to try to actually like make sure that these systems function well and do ensure that we
it all seems just performative.
Yes.
Like it's just for show.
Yes, exactly that. And this is one of the things that's very disappointing about it, because ultimately all of this just basically drives to just separating us, the lower classes, so that we can be distracted amongst ourselves while they're fucking stealing everything from us, And
it's working.
It's been working for fucking years. So like, it's just one of those things where
it still is.
Yeah, it is. And this was like, it's very disappointing, and it just really sucks, honestly. But
it's working so well that you got a chunk of the American population defending pedophiles.
I know.
That's how good it's working.
That's how good it's working. The fact that something like that's going on. And what's funny though? Last week I started going to school. I went back to college, and my English class they had me read an article from was it The Atlantic? I think it is The Atlantic, and it was about cognitive dissonance during 2020 during COVID. And I was like thinking, and it's talking about how like basically like like people don't want to admit that they're wrong because they're so invested into their tribe essentially, and that's what it is. And it's like you got super invested into this tribe that was basically trying to kind of like give you.
Real quick, was this like an article about why people just double down about like their beliefs and shit, kind of, or?
Well, that's what the cognitive dissonance is.
No, okay. I think I seen that one because as you're talking about it, because someone was I think they were talking about this article too, and they're relating to like what's going on with like the Epstein shit, where like supporters were like how they're defending them, and it's like it's just for them it's easier to just double down than it is to admit being wrong.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it
sucks to be wrong.
It sucks to be wrong, and it takes and you know what? It takes a lot of work, and it takes fucking like I don't want to say courage. I think courage is the wrong word, but it takes
maturity.
It takes maturity, and it takes a lot to fucking be mature and just be like, yeah, I fucked up. I was wrong.
Look, I'm wrong all the time, and it gets so much easier. It gets now. I'm like I don't like fuck. It's just easier to be wrong than right.
It is. But I mean, like it's one of those situations where like people like just don't. They'll double down rather than fucking like think critically about the situation and stuff like that. And so I have to write a paper on that basically, and I have to use an example of them. But that's like it made me think about all of the stuff that's been going on lately. I mean, it happened. It's been happening for a long time too. But like, yeah, this whole fucking list situation is fucking crazy.
Real quick, did you hear about that dad that killed his daughter over Trump in Texas?
No,
I didn't really read the article because it's a lot of the stuff I see like regarding this shit. I just kind of like skim through.
Right.
Because it's, I kind of, not that I don't care. It's just I don't have the bandwidth for all this shit anymore. Because it all kind of like stems from the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, so they were arguing about Trump because of the Epstein shit.
Right.
And apparently and they were older. Like, I forgot how old he was, but she was like in her 20s or 30s and shit like that. So he was a Trump supporter, and from the account was he took her into another room and just shot her in the head. And I guess from what they were saying, one of the arguments they were having regarding the Epstein files is like, you have daughters. I am your daughter. What if I was on the list? And supposedly what his response was, well, I have 2 other daughters.
Wow.
So those are the kind of people. And if I'm not mistaken, he is not in prison. I don't know what fuckery they did, but he hasn't been charged with anything, and he's just kind of living his life.
That is fucking crazy,
and this was in Texas.
Dude. Dude, that is fucking wild. To kill your own fucking offspring just because you don't fucking agree with them on that particular fucking...
I know.
That is fucking
like,
crazy.
My thing is like, look, your daughter, I don't know, maybe she was a fucking good kid, but at some point, she had to do some fucking stupid shit where you'd be like, I want to fucking kill you, but you didn't. And now, I don't know.
It's just, it feels really, really wild and very,
none of this feels real.
Huh?
Real. None of this feels real.
It doesn't.
Like, it doesn't. I don't.
I wasn't expecting us to go down this route this quick. You got me? Like, it seems like every year something crazier ends up happening. And I kind of wish that this was the peak, so it would just kind of go downhill from here. Like, meaning like we start going back to normalizing. But I feel like every day is going to be something new. You get me?
I get you.
And it's very disappointing.
Oh, okay. So here we go. This is from the BBC. A British woman who was shot dead by her father while visiting his home in Texas had argued with him about U.S. President Donald Trump earlier that day, and inquest has heard. Lucy Harrison from Warrington in Cheshire was shot in the chest on 10 January 2025 in Prosper near Dallas. Police in the town investigated the 23-year-old's death as possible manslaughter, but no criminal case was brought against Chris Harrison after a grand jury in Collin County declined to indict him. An inquest into Lucy Harrison's death opened earlier at Cheshire Coroner's Court, where her boyfriend Sam Littler described the big argument about Trump, who was preparing to be inaugurated for the second term of office. Littler, who traveled to the U.S. with Lucy Harrison for the holidays, said she would often become upset with her father when he spoke about owning a gun. The inquest also heard how Chris Harrison, who moved to the United States when his daughter was a child, had previously been to rehab for alcohol addiction. Chris Harrison, who did not attend the inquest, admitted in a statement sent to the court that he had relapsed on the day of the shooting and had drunk about 500 milliliters of white wine. Littler said on the morning of 10 January, his partner had asked her father during the Trump row, "How would you feel if I was the girl in that situation and I'd been sexually assaulted?" Chris Harrison had replied that he had 2 other daughters who lived with him, so it would not upset him that much. Littler said Lucy became quite upset and ran upstairs. He told the court that later that day, about half an hour before they were due to leave to go to the airport, Lucy had been in the kitchen when her father took her by the hand, led her into his ground floor bedroom. Littler said he heard a loud bang about 15 seconds later. Then Chris Harrison screamed for his wife, Heather. Littler said, "I remember running into the room and Lucy was laying on the floor near the entrance of the bathroom where Chris was just screaming, just sort of nonsense." The statement from Chris Harrison said he and his daughter had been watching a news item on gun crime when he told her he had a gun and asked her if she wanted to see it. Then they went to the bedroom so he could show her a Glock 90mm semi-automatic handgun, which he kept in the bedside cabinet. Blah, 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 blah. He said he denied ever discussing it with his daughter before. That's okay. That's just basically it.
That's fucking wild. And they didn't do anything with him, basically.
So far, nothing. So far, he's free.
That is fucking crazy, dude.
Free as a bird.
'Cause I'm as free as a bird now.
I was debating whether I should go into that, but it felt a little inappropriate. But good on you. Good on you for doing that.
I'll do the things people don't want to do. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised about that. Well, yeah, that's fucking crazy. It's unbelievable.
You know what? It is, but it's not surprising. I don't know why. When I seen it, it didn't. That's probably why I just kind of skimmed over it, because it didn't shock me. It didn't surprise me. It didn't do anything other than it's just part of the normal news cycle now. It's just part of
the process now.
Yeah.
It's just another Wednesday, kind of thing. Yeah, dude.
There's also I don't really know much of any of this. It happened sometime this week, I think, and it wasn't really covered at all that I seen. But there was like a mass shooting in Canada.
There was, actually. Yeah, I have a friend in Canada who talked about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything other than it just happened. So.
I didn't read into it too much either, but like from what my friend told me, the person who committed the crime was trans, and they had a pretty it was something definitely that wasn't a handgun, basically, to do that much damage, essentially. And so then it's one of those situations where it's like, not to excuse the behavior or to anything of that sort, but like, why would a trans person commit a fucking crime like that? They were probably mentally unstable. They were probably being bullied or something like that. I don't know. That's just where my mind immediately goes. I think anybody who commits a fucking mass murder or anything of that sort, there must have been some sort of bullying or something like that. There must have been some sort of mental, I don't want to say mental illness, but there was something wrong with their mental behavior or something like that,
Well, I tend to agree with that in terms of the majority probably of mass shootings like that, where it is like a psychological issue through whether it be bullying or just genetics or whatever. And then I think there are just some people that are just born fucking evil.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
For this case, how you said they're trans, I don't know how it works in Canada, but I thought here, aren't you supposed to go through psychological evaluations and shit like that to make sure that it's something you really want to do and all that?
Yeah, I mean that is
the only reason I bring that up, because if it's like that up there the way it is here, I would imagine if it was some sort of decent eval, wouldn't like signs like that kind of, you know what I mean? Wouldn't you be prodding into certain things to maybe pick up on potential signs like that?
No, absolutely. I think, and mind you, again, I say this because like this, like I haven't read on it. I'm going based on what my friend told me, and from what she says is like she probably like that. I don't even know if the person was man or woman.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
But they probably acquired it through illegal means. The firepower that was used there, that they're thinking that they probably acquired it through legal means because it's like it supposedly wasn't a typical...
No. Yeah. Okay. But like, even I don't know. Maybe again, this goes back to the conspiracy. Maybe it's just I won't even say it's because I'm too into conspiracy. It's because this fucking world has turned into a giant conspiracy theory. It just seems very weird now that it almost seems very false flag. It seems very convenient that the shooter's trans.
No, I get you. Because I mean, they're even though
I'm not saying that a trans person isn't capable of that, but it just seems very.
It's too on the nose, I guess you could say. So,
just like the Charlie Kirk situation, that seems a little too.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna say though. I think we're seeing it in Canada and we're seeing it also in Britain. Their right-wing movements are heavily getting popular in both of those countries.
Yeah.
And
Germany too, I think.
Germany too as well. And the reason why is because like even though they've had very good like socially progressive, I guess you could say, governments, the issue is that the government started getting complacent, I think. And they kind of started letting go. And then now like they're getting bought out. Like politicians are getting bought out. They're trying to push into, like, I think my friend was telling me that like a lot of like whatever social medicine that they had for what you call it, they keep gutting it out just to push everyone to go into the private sector to buy private insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then it's like when you start doing that shit, like what's the point of it? Why would you want to put people in private insurance?
Because you want the money.
The money, obviously, the money. And so, like, there needs... I've said it before, but there needs to be a better fucking counter to the fucking right-wing movements that are overtaking a lot of, like, fucking government systems.
Honestly, there needs to be a counter to both sides. There needs to be, like, just something in the middle where it's... Because it's, like, it's turned... I think we mentioned this in one of the other recordings. At least on my end, it seems like both sides have swung way too far to the right and way too far to the left. There is no more like kind of moderate in between anymore. Like, cause I remember growing up being a Republican, you were concerned about economics, and that was kind of it. You weren't super into the Christianity of it or the cultural aspect of the Republic. Like it was a political thing, and it was about the economics and the social standings of people on both sides. Then it just turned into this fucking culture war on either side, where like there's no politics in it anymore. It's just a fucking culture war.
Yeah, it's all just messaging to try to make sure to get the
votes,
not even like just to get people fucking riled up and just to get them to vote for whatever, like if you tell someone who like the reason why you're not getting your fucking Mustang is because this trans person is taking your jobs, they're gonna believe it.
Yeah,
you get me? Or if you tell them it's because trans people are or the government is paying for trans people's fucking surgeries, and like people will get angry because of that, because they'll be thinking like, well, I'm fucking like doing like shit, I need help, and the government isn't helping me, but they're helping out these other people. So it creates this big division, right? It's like that fucking lie of saying that Medi-Cal, that immigrants are Medi-Cal recipients because hospitals will tend to fucking to poor immigrants because they have to.
That's the code. That's the law. That's the oath. That's what is the Hippocratic oath that you take like, as a physician?
Yeah, like hospitals cannot deny you service at all. They have to, whether they get money or not, they cannot deny you service.
Even a fucking like if a doctor sees a car accident, I think by oath they're supposed to stop and administer aid and help and shit like that.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, nah, you don't have the money or you know what I mean? There's no. And what is it? Illegal immigrants don't even fucking get the Medi-Cal or the
No, they don't. But the thing is like some of the Medi-Cal money does go into like the one in few cases.
Well, yeah, because you have to supplement it.
You have to supplement.
The money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's what's actually happening. And then the messaging, the way that they're spinning it is illegal aliens are getting Medi-Cal.
Yeah.
I mean, technically they're getting Medi-Cal in that instance, but it's not like they can go to a fucking like a private haircut.
They're not getting they're getting treatment
that's being supplemented by Medi-Cal in that instance. It's a very momentary instance, but yet somehow they spin it into this whole thing like they can't go to other doctors. They can go to an emergency room.
Well, they're getting their free health care, they're getting our houses, and they're getting all our good jobs.
And we're not getting anything, right?
No.
Even though like I'm the son of an immigrant, but I'm not getting anything. I'm still a citizen, and I'm not getting anything.
I'm fucking second generation here, and I haven't gotten jack shit.
Wait, how does that work? So which one's first generation and which one's second?
So first gen you would be first gen because your parents are immigrant.
Yeah.
So you were born here.
Yeah.
So my parents were born here, so I'm second gen.
So we never went into like more details of like stuff that like what we've been kind of thinking about this week, but I'll just say the three things that have kind of like right now that we've been talking that I've been thinking about. I hope that I don't take it too far away from the main conversation, unless you want to keep talking about this subject or
no.
Yeah. So one of the things that still on the subject of immigration and shit like that. Latinos that are like voting for Trump or just like okay.
I thought you were gonna say that are because wasn't it a couple Latinos that killed that Eric Petty dude or something like that?
I don't even know who.
They released the names and they sounded very Hispanic.
Oh, you're talking about the
last
Alex Peretti?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alex Peretti.
Yeah. I was gonna talk like say Latinos that fucking like that end up working shit like that or just like
race traders?
Yeah, the race traders, basically. Fucking pieces of shit. If you're a Latino and you voted for Trump or you're okay with everything that's going on right now, you're fucking, like they say, the word that they use for fucking, like, Cubans, you're gusano way.
I thought you were going to say, what we can say, during slavery, the house.
Oh, yeah.
The Samuel L. Jackson character from Django.
From fucking Django, yeah.
Basically.
That's basically what you are, dude. Like under...
Or the I think it was the Polish prisoners in the concentration camps in World War II. I mean, they were still in the camps, but they weren't Jewish, so they got treated a little bit better, and they would just fucking just beat the shit out of the Jewish detainees, and so the Nazis kind of treated them a little bit better because they weren't Jewish, so they were a step up. It's just one of the, like, look, you're still in that fucking camp.
You're still in there. Like, you're a piece of shit because, like, no matter what, when they get rid of the bottom of the pool, who do you think is next?
Yeah.
It's going to be you. You'll never be with them. They'll never consider you as part of them. Like, you might have, like, a little money. You might be living a little bit more comfortably than your average, like, immigrant is or something like that, but you'll never be accepted by them. It's fucking dear disappointment, honestly. Like, it fucking pisses me off. And it's like it's just basically equivalent of those people that like they want help getting up the ladder, but they'll pull up the ladder immediately when they're up there.
And I will say this, it's not necessarily just like, yes, it has a huge deal to do with it, but it's not just like a race thing, because if you're white and on board with all this, it's as much an economic thing as it is a race thing. Because, yeah, even if you're white, you're not in the same tax bracket as these motherfuckers, and you're going to get left behind, too. Once they get rid of all the coloreds, you're the only labor force that's going to be left.
Yeah.
Someone's got to keep the machine running.
Yep. You're going to be like one of the kids in the fucking, what was that train in that movie that...
Busan?
Yeah, no, the other one. What was it?
Snowpiercer.
Yeah, Snowpiercer. You're gonna be one of like your kids are gonna be part of that fucking machine, right? Under running the fucking.
You're gonna be eating fucking crickets bars and shit.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna be eating, dude. Like that's what it is.
That's what's gonna
exactly
happen.
what it is. And if you can't recognize that,
because I mean, look, farmers are still losing money because they don't have people to pick the crops and shit. I don't see a bunch of white people running to get those jobs.
Where's the white flood of fucking working class to fill in the jobs? I don't see it.
Exactly.
It's not gonna happen. And really, that was one of the things that I like. That I'm like, now that we're talking about this, is just like I just thought about it and it fucking pissed me off. Another thing that happened, and this literally happened today. I'm let me just like state that I'm pissed off at all parties involved in this. But it's just like the record, like the events that happened in front of me that I was just like, this is fucking stupid. So, I come down here to John's. I have to take a bus to come down here, and I was sitting all the way in the back of the bus, as I do, and the bus was pretty full. Like, if you've ever ridden a bus, you know there's the front half, there's the back half, right? And if you're riding one of those extra long buses that is divided into two fucking buses, then it's
just double it. Yeah,
you just double it. It's the same principle. So I was sitting in the very back. The first half of the bus was all fucking full. Like the front seats where the elderly are allowed to sit, or that are reserved for the elderly, are all fucking full. The back has maybe 3 or 4 seats available, and then you have like scattered people in the front half that are standing up because they didn't have a seat and they don't want to go to the back, right? So this elderly lady, she must have been like at least 70 years old. She's fucking using a cane to get around. Fair skin. I want to say she's white, but I'm not really sure because, I mean, honestly, she was wearing sunglasses. I couldn't see her eyes. This old lady comes all the way to the back, to the point where she even has to like climb up the steps to get onto those seats in the back. There's a seat literally like right in front of her. She looks at the seat. She looks at the people sitting there next to you because there was someone sitting next to it. She fucking decides that she's going to stand up. The bus is about to, it brakes really hard. That lady was about to fucking face plant and she was going to go down the stairs. So like, that's it.
It would have been, yeah.
It would have been horrible. She would have broken her hip, maybe something else or something like that. So I'm pissed off at the old lady because she clearly had a seat. She refused to sit down for whatever fucking reason it was. I don't know. Maybe she was racist. Maybe she just like fucking wanted to like prove to herself that she can take it and she could just stand up. Whatever the fucking reason is, that pissed me off. The other thing that pissed me off is the fact that this old lady had to go all the way to the back because nobody in the front didn't want to stand up and give up their seat for her. And it's just like, come on, like public service. Like if you're a fucking young person and you're sitting in one of the fronts, because there are at least six seats in the front that are reserved or designated for elderly people. If you're a young person who's sitting in those fucking 6 seats and you see an elderly person, stand up and give up your seat to them. Because like that's what it's for. That's how we build a better society. You get me? And then 2, if you're an old person and you see a seat available, fucking take it. I don't give a fuck if you're racist or if you don't want like the person that you're sitting with. Take the seat because you're gonna fucking that bus is gonna break at some point. And if you're not holding yourself,
yeah,
you're gonna have to have a medical expense. That's if you survive, So that's like, I don't know. It's fucking stupid, dude.
Well, that's the thing. There's like no real sense of community anymore. Like everyone's just kind of in it for themselves, and I feel like that's kind of how society has been trying to condition us for quite a while now.
Listen, like I'd like to say that I was raised by my mom and my dad, to be courteous and to give up, like to have respect for the elderly, right? And obviously, as I grew older, I was like, you know what? Sometimes you don't respect elderly.
Yeah, no.
Some of them are fucking.
Look, real quick, my thing is, yeah, I grew up the same way. Like you respect. Once I go to a certain age, I'm like, you know what? That's all great, but fuck that. You got to earn my respect. You don't just get it immediately because you're old. Because there's a shitload of old people that are fucking cunts.
Yes, it's kind of like if the person is nice, if the person is amicable, fuck it. You
got to earn it.
They've done it. But if they're fucking assholes, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. Like don't expect anything from me. I don't think there ever was a sense of community in this country like that.
There was, dude.
I don't feel like it was, dude. I don't feel like that was ever, unless it was maybe like at least in the cities. I think maybe in the South or in more like rural areas, it is kind of like instilled into them. In the cities, unless you were born in a fucking like a colored family unit or a person of color, like Latinos, blacks, or Asians, that culture comes instilled into them. You probably did not grow up having. You get me?
You know what? Part of me wants to agree with that, but part of me is like, I'm going to start feeling old because this is going to be like the thing I blame the most. The internet. I really feel like by the early 2000s, once like the internet really started happening, that's when shit started kind of going downhill, where it was just, I don't know, because I remember growing up like in the 90s and shit like that. It wasn't like this. Like people were still pretty cohesive as like a country. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Well, I mean, at least like in the
like the 90s were still a pretty simple time.
Yeah, but in the 90s, not a lot of people were like fucking suffering the way that we are now, or like there wasn't a lot of like fucking like.
But that's what I'm saying. I think with shit like the internet, you get to see that disparity a lot easier. You know what I mean? And especially like nowadays with fucking influencers and shit who just, look, I'm not saying all of them, but like seems like a fair few of them just lie about their lives, just, you know, for the follows and all that shit. So it's like, if you have these people telling you to do this, this, and this, and you could be like, damn, and it's not working. One, because sometimes it just doesn't work, but two, probably because they're fucking lying themselves and they're just putting on a show. Like it's gonna, you know, like I don't know. It feels like the internet created this environment for just mass extreme tribalism. Like you find your pocket and you just hunker down in there, and you don't move from there anymore.
You don't move out from that. Yeah, that makes sense. It starts becoming fucking bubbles, basically.
Yeah. It's like high school where it's just everyone's clicked up, but it's just on a mass kind of
scale. Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. I don't know. I don't know what the solution for this is, and I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna take a long time before we're able to kind of like come back and unify, unless some sort of fucking like chemical agent comes in and fucking like, you know, fucks up our brains. And then, have you seen that show Pluribus?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it either, but I've seen clips of it, and it's basically like this alien race or this alien organism that comes in and basically just takes the minds over of people, and they all become like, they pretend to be individuals, but they're not really individuals.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Until something like that happens, I don't think we're going to be able to be unified.
It's going to be like in Fallout with that little chip in the back of your neck.
The chip in the back of your neck, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that's going to truly, like, yeah.
You know what's weird during all this? It's like, you know, maybe it wouldn't be an increase, but the amount of just kind of blatant racism that's just been unveiled is kind of scary.
Because it was never gone.
I know, but I'm like,
you know what I mean?
I don't know what's scarier, the amount that I realize exists, or the fact that people kept it bottled up for so fucking long. Because you think about a lot of the people fucking just spouting all this fucking random racist bullshit now, they've been around for as long, if not longer than we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, now that it's okay, or seemingly okay to do it, they're doing it and they're saying it. It's just like that mask is off, and it's kind of, I didn't realize how
it'll never die out. Like, because if the older generation that grew up with that sort of mentality is still teaching their younger generation that, and there's only like such a small amount of outliers that actually do decide to like break off from that family unit and, you know, become an actual like member of society that doesn't think racist the way that they do. It's that sort of scenario is very little. A lot of times they end up all just kind of like sticking together and shit. And to deprogram that sort of bullshit out of them, it's fucking difficult, dude.
It's very much a cult-like structure.
On the subject of this, it's a little tangent, but it's kind of related, just for comedic relief. I don't know if you've seen that video where like there's this like what you call it, German family that's like doing a toast, and then there's this grandma where she's like, Hi Hitler. Like what I was thinking about right now.
And like because every once in a while it pops up on Reddit, and like the first time I look, it's funny because I think it's funny. Part of me, the way I understood it is, she's obviously old as fuck. The way I interpreted it was, I don't think she was 100% cognitively there anymore. So I think she was just defaulting to childhood.
Yeah.
which was why it was funny. Because everyone reacted and like, no, you don't, you know what I mean? But it was just, I think that's what it was. But it's still very much, you know, like it's hard to dig yourself out of shit like that, you know, of being ingrained.
Oh, this is exactly what I was kind of thinking about right now, where it's like, where you're like saying like, oh, like they all went mask off, and this is their moment.
Yeah,
this is that moment where they're like, fuck it, we never really forgot, we never really like, you know, it's still part of us. I mean, granted, that old lady wasn't like. That that is. I don't mean that old lady was like that, but I mean that's just the sort of situation that we're living in, and the fucked up part about it is that like it used to be that only say fucking Fox News or Rush Limbaugh was the one who was talking shit like this. Now you have fucking like a bunch of fucking influencers that basically
podcasters, everyone
like, that basically
musicians,
like they're using all this fucking horrible rhetoric. To the point where they're almost like fucking calling black people the N-word, or if they do it in a way where it's like very like fucking facetious and just like trying to like imply that they never really meant that, but you know.
It's gotten to a point where we apparently needed a second Super Bowl halftime show because I guess the official one wasn't
because a Puerto
American.
Rican who's an American
wasn't American enough.
Wasn't American enough. Just like stupid, dude. You know, it's one of the things too. Like, okay, so there was that one song. I think it's called Apagón. I don't know what it was, where he had all the fucking light posts,
the power lines
and shit. And you know how the power lines, like the lights were going out in there.
Yeah.
And so then I saw a Twitter post where it's like it's crazy how they're doing like something along the lines of like they're doing such a shitty production of a show, considering how they hardly have any like functioning lights in Puerto Rico. It's like the song is literally. That's
the point of the polls.
That's the point of the polls. That's the point of the song.
Like what a lot of people are failing to understand that whole, at least the visuals of the show is kind of the history and culture of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Including those fucking poles malfunctioning and them still not having reliable power after, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, that hurricane or whatever the fuck it was?
Like fucking more than 2 years ago. Yeah, it was during Trump, dude. Like Trump first term.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, dude. Was it? Don't you remember there was that fucking like that one fucking picture of him like basketballing a roll of fucking like paper towels?
No, dude. Honestly, like how you said the Trump first term, like there's moments I forget Biden was in between. Like it's just one giant fucking clusterfuck.
Well, that's how like okay, so like it's funny that you mentioned that because I think about that right now, where it's like those 4 years that Biden was in.
They're a wash.
They're all washed. They're gone. Like that little calm that we had. It's like Final Fantasy X. We had 10 years of calm, and now sin is back. Basically, that's another thing I'll talk about. Like
it felt like when you get, and I'm not calling either of his terms good, but it's like when a movie comes out and it's fucking amazing, and they announce the sequel, but it's like fucking 4 years down the line. So you're like, well, I just gotta sit around with my thumb on my ass till part 2 comes out.
Yeah.
And here we are with part 2, and it's more spectacle than the first one, but you know, it's like one of those.
Than the sequel.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah. That's totally something that's like, I don't know, dude. I'm just like kind of like, I don't think the next fucking 3.5 years, if we make it that far, I don't think it's gonna be that great, and I think it's gonna be
it's not going to be great for the next probably 20 years. Because once he's out,
all the damage that he did,
we have the next president, and that's 4 years.
Right.
4 years is not a lot of time to undo. I'll include Biden's term.
Yeah.
12 years of just fucking garbage.
Yeah.
8 years is not, you know what I mean? It's going to take probably about the double the amount to fix what's been ruined right now.
Not to mention that we still have
just the amount of trust trying to rebuild with not only just
within
American people, but abroad.
Yeah, abroad too, and all that stuff. That's another thing too. But I mean, like I was thinking about it too. Also, the Supreme Court, dude. Like, if some sort of like oppositional, president, like let's say a Democratic president ends up taking office, and then they want to do some law that that probably benefits the people. And if someone wants to sue against it and they take it to the Supreme Court could possibly just be like, nah, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Supreme Court's supposed to be neutral, and it's no longer neutral.
There needs to be term limits.
There needs to be term limits for Supreme Court. There needs to be term limits for fucking congressional people as well. There needs to be term limits for fucking...
There needs to be term limits, and there needs to be age limits.
I don't think age limits is appropriate.
I do. But
I think that term limits are, because even if like that person ends up being like... I think, because what is it? House representatives have to run every 2 years, right? Congress have to run every 4 years, right? Am I right?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So... I think House representatives can run for like fucking 8 terms, or maybe like not even 8. Let's just say 4 terms, 4 to 6 or something like that. Because we're talking about like fucking 8 to 12 years where they're able to stay in there. After that, they're gone, And Congress can fucking have 3 terms, because Congress is not like a... The executive is a very important branch that needs to be having someone that constantly needs to be rotating.
Yeah.
You can't have the same person over and over again. But Congress, at least that they could kind of do that. But definitely term limits. Supreme Court, honestly, I don't know. Maybe a 10-year limit.
That seems like a lot. I would extend it 1 year past the presidency. Go 5.
You know what? Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And the only reason I say an age limit, because a lot of these people are fucking old and they carry old values.
Well, a lot of them are old because they've been fucking constantly being reelected.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But even if there was no term limit, if you hit that age limit, you're fucking out.
No, but the thing is like, okay, let me put it to you this way. If there's term limits, like say that they run for that specific amount of terms. Let's just put it this way. Who the fuck is going to fucking want to like hire or fucking vote in some ancient piece of shit?
We do it all the time still.
At this point, I don't think anybody will like. They're
not
all...
maybe not anymore because you see the effects of it. Mm-hmm. But we've been doing it fucking forever.
We've been doing it for the past 20 years. I get you. Or people who hold those kind of values. You get me?
Look. Our best fucking Democratic candidate was fucking Biden. The dude is fucking like 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we have to be able to do better than that.
That is true.
I'm not saying go super young, but have once you hit 65, you're out of the running for any sort of office. Mm-hmm. Anything lower than I'll say 35, you're out of the running for any sort of office. You know what I mean? Keep it. That's what, 30 years?
Yeah.
From 35 to 60, that's 30 years. That should be more than enough time for a fucking career.
That makes sense. Well, I think you have to be 35 to run for
presidency. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think you have to be either 20. I think 28 for House or congressional, or is it 24?
That seems really young to me, though.
It's one of those two. I don't know, but because we do have some fucking young people.
I know, but it's to me, and I'm gonna go very capitalist and be like, look, I need you to have 10 years of experience. You know what I mean? Before you fucking come into this
Are you
company.
talking about 10 years of experience in the sort of in that sort of field, or just lived experience in general?
In that field.
It's really hard to give them that sort of...
No, I'm just saying, I would prefer someone coming into a political field to have some sort of experience instead of being 26, 27, 28, fairly fresh out of college. You know what I mean? I get it. You have all these great ideas. But without practice, none of that shit, you know what I mean?
I'm going to pose the example of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There's always exception to the rules.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
She had no fucking relative experience when it comes to her house position. And she's fucking knocked it out of the park. At least
I'm not saying that you can't, but
it's just so if you're going to be putting that sort of blanket out there, you are really taking out the possibility of having someone like her,
How though? Because if she really wanted that career, if this was her goal, if this is her intention, she could still do it. It'll just take a little bit longer. But that goes for everyone else. So the people that aren't serious about it, the people that aren't just in it just to fucking try to make the buck or try to get into a little cozy position, you know what I mean? I'm sure they'll still get through if they go through all this, this
right,
the rigmarole. But
here's the thing though, what I'm trying to say is that the fact that like that someone like her was able to get in and cause such a stir, it's because of that there wasn't that sort of like, limitation put into her or to her to be able to join and to do this Congress. And I mean, one way or another, let's be real, like they get voted in by the people. It's not like there's a committee that's like telling them to fucking like that accepts them or hires them into this position. The people are voting for them.
And that's the thing, that because my worry is one day you have some fucker like fucking Nick Fuentes deciding to run for some sort of office, and just based off of popularity, he's gonna win.
Well, but I mean, that's the thing, though. That's the kind of system that our shit is built on, dude.
But that's what it needs to be fucking changed.
If it is changed, I think it needs to be more of a popular vote than the electoral college bullshit that we have.
People are fucking idiots.
I know, but
so no, we can't leave this kind of stuff to people.
Look, I think I will disagree with you on this, because one way or another, like, you can't have gerrymandering happening to the point where like it's not evened, like in any sort of way. Everything's been fucking manipulated to the point where like a certain outcome is expected. It's not necessarily like the outcome that always happens, but it's like they have a certain outcome expected. And when you start doing bullshit like that, dude, I'm sorry, but like it's why we're here. You get me? That's what I'm trying to say. I would say popular vote, or maybe ranked choice voting for shit like this. Ranked choice voting, I think, is a better option, because it allows it to go into rounds where people, eventually you're essentially taking multiple votes all at once, to figure out who is the candidate, and that ultimately kind of like whittles out, stuff like that. But the people ultimately have to have the final say in who they want in office. You get me?
So what we need to do is, like, for every...
How many votes did Trump get for this term?
Fuck, I don't remember.
Because he won because of the electoral vote, dude.
Yeah, I know.
And it wasn't popular. I don't think
that's what I'm saying. Our shit doesn't matter.
It's not popularity.
That's what I'm saying. So what is it like if our vote already doesn't matter?
That's what I'm saying. It should be based on popular vote and not so much on the electoral college.
Yeah, but it never has been.
I know, but that's the system that I'm suggesting you switch off to, though. That's the thing. I would rather it be a popular vote over electoral college, because the electoral college has been a fucking sham all this time.
He still would have won if it was a popular vote.
If it was the popular vote, yes, but I don't believe it was the popular. I mean, it could have been, because I mean it was Kamala Harris, to be honest. But like, there have been presidents have won the presidency because the electoral vote was in their favor. Didn't
that happen with Bush?
I think it was Bush. But it's just like shit like that happens, and then also like not to mention also like whether a state receives more representation from a certain party than the other one. Like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of like, or at least I assume, or maybe assume is the wrong word, but I imagine that a lot of like the fucking red states have heavy Democratic, votership, but they're just so congregated or concentrated in a small area that ultimately it doesn't matter, because the whole place is fucking rigged to where only the reds, count.
That's why we need to nationalize the voting.
Oh, well, I mean, that's another thing too. Though, just like I don't want to go into too much into politics. Honestly, we already did, but
I'm saying because that's what he's been calling for.
Yeah, because what is it? The Save America Act, where basically all this bullshit, where it's like, look, anytime any politician or any fucking like congressional body decides that they want to pass some sort of law or some sort of bill, the American people have to fucking think about what's the cost, because nothing that they do doesn't have a cost or doesn't have some sort of trade-off. Medicare for all. If they decided to fucking pass Medicare for all right now, what is the cost? The upfront cost is that your taxes are going to go a little bit higher. But that means for everyone, not just for you.
Well, here's the thing, though. What's the actual cost and not the made-up bullshit costs to scare people from voting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there is that. There's like, yes, obviously taxes will go up, but then there's the extra added fucking bullshit claims about, what is it, what were they calling them? The death panels or whatever, to waiting to see if you're going to get treatment and stuff like that.
That's bullshit. We don't know that.
But that's what I'm saying. Then you get shit like that.
Well, I mean, that's when the opposition starts getting into like sort of like the politics play of it. But that's one of the things, like, okay, so like when you think about, like, I'm just using Medicare for All as an example. Yes, there's going to be an added cost when it comes to like it's going to make your taxes a little bit more expensive, but that's everyone's taxes. But then also think about it: if you're paying for insurance, you don't have to pay for that anymore. That opens the door, and if you have insurance that's tied to your employment, guess what? That's an expense that your employment doesn't have to do anymore. So what does that give you? Bargaining power to ask for more wages.
That's why we just need to start unionizing everything.
Yeah. Honestly, you're part of a union.
Yeah.
I understand the frustrations that, come with being part of a union. Like the constraints that happen. Like sometimes there's a lot of like fucking, I guess you could say, bureaucracy to it, or maybe just like there's a lot of stuff. I understand that. But I mean, it's essential for ensuring that everyone is like fucking getting their shit. You get me?
Well, okay. So basically, at least in my experience, the union is just a mini political sphere.
Yeah.
And it's all politics. Yeah. And the people in charge are making shit tons of money. But we're all okay with it because we still get our benefits. We still get our raises. So it's look, if you're going to be like corrupt and line your pockets, great. But make sure that, which is at least in my experience, the union's at least doing what needs to be done to keep us comfortable.
Yeah, like make sure that you're fed, make sure that you're getting your shit.
Exactly.
Because it's not like,
and that's not what the government's doing, which is like, if look, you want to touch kids? Great. I don't want to have a $3,000 mortgage payment. If you can reconcile that for me, then you know what? Maybe I'll turn a blind eye. Like look, if you're going below like
I'm sorry,
14 years old.
On. You said earlier in this episode you weren't okay with what Pam Bondi said about our
my 401k.
Yes.
Mortgage is something different. A 401k is being paid towards me. A mortgage, I'm paying towards them. Like if you want $3,000 from me, then you're gonna have to fuck less kids. That's all I gotta say. Fuck less kids. You want to fuck more kids? I have to pay less in mortgage.
But I mean, like that's kind of like one of the reasons why like unions in particular are very important, because like I mean, not only just the fact that they're making sure you're getting paid, you're getting your paid days off as well, and all this other stuff. Like whatever it is that I mean, I guess in a sense too, your health insurance if you're getting health insurance.
So we get our health insurance. We make sure we get our annual raises.
Right.
That our pay rate is competitive with the national average and shit like that. And what it should be, we're taken care of in terms of breaks. Even like if you don't get your breaks and shit like that, go to the hall. They fucking square it out for you. Even shit like pensions and 401k and retirement, that's all helped and squared away through the union. So when you're out, you're not just asked out. You know what I mean? There's safeguards for you. At least on my end, if I'm let go from a company, I'm still paying union dues, but I sign up, and when there's an opening in another company, they send me to it. I'm not out there throwing out applications. You know what I mean? Right. It's kind of like a community.
Yeah,
the way
definitely.
It should be. I mean, obviously, it's like any.
I think the bigger the union starts getting, the more the more kind of like more bureaucratic, and then also more fucking like if it starts getting in more open to corruption and shit like that. As things do happen, like that should just tends to happen. That's kind of like what we want our fucking government to do, right? We want our government to provide for us, because ultimately that's a social contract between us and the government.
Yeah.
Like we're paying taxes. The taxes are supposed to go to benefits that come back to us. The taxes the taxes is us paying the government to ensure that the fucking fundamental structures that we live in, whether it be physical, whether it be laws, whether it be anything of that sort, are to our benefit. We pay them to protect us. We pay them to make sure that the lights are running, or that the infrastructure is okay, and all that stuff, to maintain that sort of thing. That's what we're paying our taxes for. When our taxes start going into fucking fun wars in the Middle East, or fucking giving Israel fucking weapons to massacre fucking poor Palestinian kids.
Did you hear real quick? I guess some of the weapons we've given the Israelis, I forgot what kind of weapons they are, but they're like they basically vaporize them. Like there's no remains or bodies left of the people. They're just fucking disintegrated, dude. Basically.
Can you imagine? That's like that's the thing that we're like to that extent. But I mean, like that's where our money is going. Where our money is going to fucking like a police state that's only benefiting the president right now, you know, or the money's going into fucking private companies or private contractors that are just basically
it's going to buying fucking prisons. Yeah. They're buying detention centers. Yeah. I think they said they wanted one in each state.
Yeah.
Or they're looking at properties in every state.
It's just like stupid shit like that. You know, like when this is our tax money that's going specifically to that. You're funding your own imprisonment. You're funding your own fucking
downfall. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Because you are the ones who are allowing this to happen. You are the ones who fucking voted this to happen. And this is the thing, though. It's like, this isn't what the government is supposed to be. The government is supposed to provide for the people because that's what it is. We're paying them to fucking provide for us. Again, going back to the whole fucking Medicare for all shit. That's what it's supposed to do. And then, like I said, like by providing Medicare for all, you're opening it up to where you can get money, more money from wherever you work at. Because ultimately, that's what we want. We want all more money. Like, we shouldn't be having to work fucking 40 hours a week.
And you know what? Like how you're saying it's not even a greed thing. It's just a survival. Look, I don't want to be rich. Like, look, I everyone wants to be rich. But honestly, at the end of I just want to be comfortable. I just want to be able to pay everything I have to be able to pay and have enough money to, if I want to go and fucking just buy something stupid, I can without having to worry.
If you want to take a vacation, you should be able to take a vacation.
Yep.
The money that you earn, that you work hard for, you should be able to enjoy it.
The other thing too, I should be able to take a vacation or a fucking sick day without fucking being vilified at work.
Exactly. Like, or even have to like vilified at work to even have to worry about whether you're gonna have like your job the next day to, or if you're gonna have, like, you should be able to miss a day and not having to worry financially about it, because that is what should, like, that's how it should be. You get me? And so I can't fathom how it's been instilled in people in this country in particular that you have to do all these extra things for these companies that will just easily replace you the moment that they don't see any benefit of having you in there. You know, we're kind of tired of just giving them 100% or even over 100% because it's not benefiting.
It doesn't do you any good.
It doesn't do us any good. It doesn't get us anywhere. Like, you work your ass off in hopes that you get a fucking promotion. And what you get is
more responsibilities, same pay.
Yeah, more responsibilities, same pay. It brings me back to, or it makes me think of this one time where I was working for, I was working in one of the warehouses. It was like a storage warehouse where they would keep a lot of merchandise. And the guy that was the manager of the warehouse, or I guess a supervisor, because he was managing it, so he wasn't doing such a great job. And the manager of those departments, he wasn't happy with that guy. I was there. I was trying to fucking do shit. I was like, hey, I wasn't trying to take his job. I was just simply being like, hey, we should do this, this, and this, and this, just to make it easier for us. The other guy was just kind of seemed like he was just kind of tired and just like was like, you know, like very complicit with it, right? The big guy told me like, hey, I don't think he's gonna cut it. He hasn't been cutting it for the past couple of years. I want to give it to you. So what do you say? I was like, I'll take it. I'll do it. He's like, I'm not going to give you the manager position, but we're just going to call it team lead for now.
There you go.
All the responsibilities that dude had as a manager, I had them. My pay didn't go up for shit. I didn't get any benefit from that. And I stayed there doing that bullshit, thinking like, eventually I'm going to get it. I think a couple of, like 6 months happened, nothing. So what does that mean? He was taking me for a ride. And if I didn't ask for it, or if I didn't fucking fight for it, I probably wasn't going to get it.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where it's like, no, like, you shouldn't be like, when you start hearing like from business owners about how people don't want to work. No, people want to work. They just don't want to be exploited. Simple as that. We need to get into that sort of like, into that sort of work culture where we pay people fucking fair fucking wages for their work. And if we want them to do more, we should be expected to pay more for that work.
This is the biggest. I fucking hate this because I'm going there to work not to do anything other than that. When a company's like, oh, no, we're not fucking family. We're not. And if we are,
you should.
I don't even fucking. I barely like my fucking family. It takes every fucking thing in my power not to fucking murder them. So if you want to be like family, guess what? You might as well just be my boss, because it's a lot easier that way for you. I can't stand that culture of, oh, it's like family. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not, because at the end of the day, my family's not going to leave me fucking high and dry. When I have a medical emergency, the way, they're not going to look for a fucking replacement son.
Yes.
Because I can't get certain responsibilities done because, God forbid, something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you're not. We're not a family. We're a fucking entity creating profit for whatever reason. Okay, don't give me this bullshit about family. Because if we were, you'd be paying me what I need to be fucking paid. Real quick, just go back to the union thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I haven't sold, I didn't sell unions at all, but hopefully this does. If you join a union, you can quite possibly, with all safety and immunity, call the sitting president a pedophile protector. Because nothing ended up happening to that dude. He's back at work.
Really?
Unions, dog. Because the plant they tried to suspend it, and the union's like, no, he didn't do a goddamn thing wrong. He didn't do a goddamn thing wrong, which he didn't. But he's back at work.
That's fun. Yep, there you go.
Because look, it doesn't take a lot. The unions are scared of individual people, because here's the funny thing about unions is you go in there and they start explaining all your rights to them because they have to. And it's one of those where I don't want to say it backfires, but because they educate you, they have to fucking play by the rules too. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's that fine balance of where, I'm not saying all unions are like this, but there's some fuckery going on, but you allow it because you're being kept taken care of still.
Yeah.
Just like any other kind of system. Like it's even in fucking normal relationships between, two partners, and like romantically, there's always like fucking little shenanigans going on, nitpicks, but you allow it. You let it slide for the greater good. And that's what the fucking union thing. That's how any kind of thing should be. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. It's not, we're human, bro. Like,
fuck. I think that's one of the things that we're like, shit. I was thinking about how, so me and a couple of friends were having a talk about Hassan Piker. And there was a mention about how like some people like don't like him and all that stuff and stuff like that. There was the talks about like basically the example that they brought was like, I don't like Hassan Piker because he shocks his dog, kind of thing. It's like, that's fair. That's all fair. Or no, not that they didn't like him. It was just like, I don't take his opinions at face value because he shocks his dog. And in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, that's valid. Like if you don't like, nobody's perfect, and he's fucking doing something like that, that's understandable. But the opinions he's been saying, they're not wrong. You get me? They're all about fucking the struggles. Like, he's saying the right things. You can dislike him, but you can't fucking say that his opinions are wrong, or just like try to like dismiss his opinions as being like a falsehood or anything of that sort.
No, I agree with you, but if you're gonna put yourself in a public platform like that, you look, and I know I say stupid shit, maybe not on this podcast, but on the other one, you got to be very aware. If you want to be taken a certain way, and you want your words to be understood and taken a certain way, you got to be very careful with the bullshit you do.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying that, yes, the dog shocking invalidates his opinions, but it also kind of does.
Well, I mean, it's just like
in the sense that like, if you can't even like have the decency not to fucking shock your dog, then why the fuck should I listen to anything else you get?
I totally.
That's the only reason I say it does.
I totally understand where you're coming from in that part and and all that stuff. But the thing is like, you kind of got to pick a struggle too.
No, I know. But look, but it can, and I know this is very much apples to fucking watermelons and shit, but you can have someone on the fucking right that's just completely right about where this country needs to go. But, if he's like, just because Trump's on the Epstein list doesn't make him, a bad person. To me, I don't give a fuck if you have the solution to world hunger. You say that, I'm like, you kind of don't want to hear what you have to say anymore. And I know that's an extreme example, but it's the same kind of principle. You know what I mean? It's like certain things will cause people, because people are just like that, to lose to cause you to lose your credibility.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it just takes one little fuck up.
That is true. And then, like, that's one of the things that I kind of try to like reconcile with is the fact that like I can I can't say that like I agree with the stuff that he says. I listen and watch to a lot of his videos because I want to inform myself about, because I feel that he has a generally like a pretty damn good view of or a damn good opinion of the topics, and my fucking my views or my align with his, at least that's what I think. So like I watch him and I listen to him for that. Everything else that happens in between, unless it's a fucking huge ass scandal, and let's be real, the guys constantly be fucking like just everyone's been. Here's the thing. What I'll say about Hassan and why shit doesn't stick to him. So many people have tried to just fucking stick something on him, and then it turns out that it wasn't real, or it was just someone trying to clip him out of context or some bullshit like that. I don't understand why the guy like is getting so much hate from so many fucking different people, but like it always ends up turning out that either there was falsehoods to the stuff that or either his clips were taken out of context, or someone was making up lies about him, or just some stupid shit where it falls flat on his face. And then it's like it's happened so often that at this point the guy, like, it's like Trump, he could go and kill fucking someone on Fifth Ave and he's gonna be I have a certain belief that he's gonna be fine, you know, as far as like with his audience, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
It's like that cult belief kind of thing. I'm not to say that he would fucking do something like that, but I mean, like, it's just that sort of point, because like it just happens every fucking time.
But I think that just goes back to like what we said earlier in the start of the podcast. It just goes back to celebrity. He has that celebrity. So you know what I mean?
That is
like,
very true.
And that's why you're gonna get attacked all the time too.
Yeah.
Because for as many fucking people that are into you, you're gonna have just as many, if not more than likely more, haters.
Right.
That's all that is.
Yeah, that's very true.
And to be fair, I know who Hassan is, and I for the most part know kind of what he's about. I've never really listened to him. I've never been a fan. And it's just for no other reason. There's just always been something about him that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what it is. I can't.
One thing that I have noticed with him is that there's a very kind of direct, almost condescending way of how he says certain things, and it makes me wonder if maybe he's he's in the spectrum and that's the reason why, or if maybe he's just that kind of person.
I see, and this is another thing. I wouldn't even fucking go as far as to say like he may be on the spectrum, but to me that's too much of a fucking not a fail safe, but it's too much of an out now. Dude could just be a fucking narcissist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. There could be a fucking litany of issues, or I don't know. Maybe he is a really good guy, and maybe he just comes off.
He's also a nepo baby too. So
it just I don't know. Like with the dog thing, when I seen it, I'm like, oh, that's what a piece of shit. But it didn't surprise me just because internally for me, there's just, like I said, something that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what it is. He could be the fucking best person in the world, I could be proven wrong. I don't, because there are people that Asmongold for the long. I'm not a huge fan. I don't really watch his shit, but in the beginning, I'm like, there's something. But the more I'm like, all right, he seems fine. Yeah. So, but like, I never got that from Hassan. It's just, and maybe because he is abrasive and he is very condescending, so it's very hard to warm up to that.
No, yeah, I totally get you. Where
and I don't. He seems very.
He comes off like a know-it-all.
Yeah, and like there is no swaying him.
Yeah,
and that's I'm not down with that.
I get that. I completely understand that. But I will say that every time that I have seen this guy do his thing and shit like that, like for the most part, he's been right about a lot of things. I don't like the whole dog thing. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I don't know if he actually shocked the dog or if he didn't.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I have no idea. He's saying one thing. A lot of people are corroborating that it's a fucking vibration collar and shit like that. If he shocked his dog, I'm like, that's pretty fucked up, and I hope he fucking rectifies that. But I'm also not going to be like, we need to fucking burn down his house or some shit like that just because he fucking did that, you know? It seems like he's like, ever since that whole fucking like Kaya gate, that's what they call it, I think, or a shock collar gate. Ever since that happened, he's kind of been a little bit more like you know what, fuck it, maybe I'm being a little bit too strict with my dog, and he's just letting her do her thing.
And I do remember when that thing happened, a lot of people were saying it went on beyond just the shocking part. They're like, bro, it's a fucking living thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't expect it to just sit there your whole fucking stream, which I think go like 2-3 hours sometimes.
More, dude. Yeah, so they're hours.
Like, let the fucking dog, like, if it's bothering you that much that she's fucking getting up and move, then don't have her in the room. Mm-hmm. Like, that was a lot of the argument I seen. It's like, don't just resort to, if you zapped her, to fucking zapping her because she's moving and making noise.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking animal. You know what I mean? It's a living being.
Well, yeah, like definitely. And he was using that sort of like the rhetoric that I told you is like, he's afraid that, like, you know, because of her joints and stuff like that, she's a big dog. Like, it's making me think to the whole cognitive dissonance thing, where I was I was justifying the reasons why he was like acting the way that he is. But in the end, it's like, one way or another, like, it's still pretty fucked up. You get me? Like, to have a dog like fucking stuck in one place for fucking almost 8 hours in a day.
Because guess what? That's not good for their joints either.
Yeah.
And I seen the bed she was getting to. There's a step. If her joints are that bad, why the fuck are you having her step up to something?
Well, supposedly the thing is that this is what he said, is like, she likes to lay on the floor, and then the floor basically over time it makes her joints.
I get that, but it's like
the raised bed is like kind of like it's suspended, so she's not really like
it's not the hard surface.
Not that hard floor. I don't know the validity about that. I'm not gonna fucking argue like the validity.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about that, but like. The one thing that I will sympathize for him is that he had that dog Fish, and he was really fucking in love with that dog. Like, and the dog just died mysteriously out of nowhere. So it's like, I can understand why maybe he's like a little bit very like overprotective with the dog. But one way or another, I'm not excusing the behavior or anything of that.
Or maybe it died mysteriously out of nowhere because
he fucking
shocked it to death.
Shocked it to death.
I mean, look, I'm not attacking the dude, no. But I can see both sides of the story now.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. I was gonna say, did you see the meme pictures that came out
of that situation? No.
So there was one where he has a Raiden hat, and he's like fucking.
Okay, I did see that one. I did see that one. Okay.
And it's like he laughed at it. Like, I mean, like, at least he was able to take it in the chin and just be like, you know, like all fucking like, you get me? Like, fuck it. It is what it is, you know? But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where I was going with the story. Or where was this topic? Oh, we were talking about fucking like, you know, just like, what was it? Fuck.
You're on more about your like podcast and streamer hate again.
I know, right? I'm going back to it. I can't fucking like let it go.
I was gonna say, if you want to hate on someone real good, you fucking go Joe Rogan. That dude's a fucking mess.
He's
I don't know how he's still popular.
That's like fucking like kicking him in the fucking, you know, when he's down, you know, kind of thing. I don't.
Yeah, but he does it all the time, so.
I mean, I guess so. But anywho, I did want to talk about something in particular, and I'm pretty sure you wanted to talk about something too. So like,
yeah.
Do you mind if we just move it along?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Cool. So I'm gonna talk about something that I felt like was, you told me to research it.
Oh yeah, because I seen it and I'm like, I originally was gonna do it, but I'm like, this seems more like Will's bag.
So I researched it and I went a little bit into it. So there is a streamer. Well, first of all, let me start this off for anybody who doesn't play video games or anything of that sort. There is a hero shooter, and a hero shooter is basically a shooting game where there is a bunch of like characters that have not only just shoot weapons or shoot some sort of projectile out, but they have abilities that help with their movement or help them do some special things that are on a cooldown, and say like you can use it every 12 seconds or something.
Think like Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah. Overwatch is the best example. So there's this hero shooter game called Marvel Rivals. It is made by NetEase. It's free to play. # not sponsored. So there's a streamer by the name of Kingsman 265, who was part of a tournament that was hosted by a person called Basim ZB, and it was sponsored by NetEase, which is the creator of Marvel Rivals, right? So
it was a $40,000 tournament.
Yeah. I was gonna go into it. So January 17, 2026, Kingsman 265 uploaded a video where he was kicked off the Deadpool's Creators Cup hosted by Basim ZB, where the grand prize was 40,000 USD. Tournament was sponsored by NetEase. Cool. So like,
And this was to celebrate the launch of Deadpool, right?
The launch of Deadpool, which is the new hero that was the most recently launched hero for Marvel Rivals,
which was last month.
And so, I want to say that there's three main characters in this story, or three people that we pay attention to, and one of them in the end just phased out. Like nobody, like she just like kind of like nobody attacked her, even though she was the problem, or she was the reason why the whole fucking debacle started. So Kingsman, someone else by the name of CC, I don't know the full name, and then the other one was Zaza Stacks. So the video shows that they're getting together for like scrims or just kind of like practice battles, right? And Kingsman is talking about strategies.
Real quick, because the video starts off, because I did watch it. So for these things, team leaders were assigned, right?
Yes.
CC was the team leader. The first person she chose was Kingsman. Mm-hmm. And I remember seeing that video. She seemed very like excited and enthused about choosing him.
Yeah.
Because he's not a slouch of a player, from my understanding.
Like from what I've seen and from what and the evidence is there in his videos, he's pretty damn good at the game.
He was an intentional first pick.
He's a fucking nerd when it comes to that game. Like, let's just be real. That's the truth. That's what it was.
He hasn't touched grass in years.
Exactly. So, like, Kingsman, CC, and Zaza get together for scrims. Kingsman's trying to set up a 2 tank, 1 DPS, 3 support strat, which is common, or at least it's something that's constantly being used right now in very high tournament or high elo fights. He suggests Zaza is basically hard stuck on being Black Widow for every fucking interaction and stuff.
No matter what.
No matter what. And Kingsman is suggesting Zaza just switch off to someone else, whether it be support or whether it be like another role, and just something to fit that composition. Right?
A lot of it too is because, no offense to her, but also kind of fuck her, that Zaza chick doesn't seem very good as Black Widow. Because I remember even before the tournament started, when she was picked, people were making fun of her for her.
I just don't like. I think objectively she wasn't really that great of a player.
Yeah.
And not to mention, apart from that,
Black Widow's not a great character either.
No, but I mean, not just that, but like she was also playing at 200 ping.
Yeah.
So like she had everything stacked against her, and I don't think she was the last pick. I think for the team, wasn't she?
I don't remember that.
I don't know, but the whole but it's just something like that. Like objectively, the like. If she was a Widow main, she wasn't a great Widow main. Let me just put it out that way. And I'm not trying to fucking shit on her or just like immediately fucking.
I do remember seeing on some of the videos. I don't remember if there was at least one match where she was just 0 kills, zero across the board.
She went 0 and 5.
Yeah.
So he's suggesting Zaza to switch from Widow because everyone's gonna be diving her as Widow, and she would immediately get picked off.
Which was happening.
Which was happening in their scrims. But CC, the team captain, doubles down on Zaza staying as Widow, right? Kingsman persists on Zaza switching off Widow. Their conversations get to a point where everyone takes a break. CC says she needs to take a call. And this is all what happened in the video. Everyone goes their separate ways. 20 minutes later, Kingsman gets a message from Basm ZB informing him that he is no longer part of the tournament. Cool. That's literally what happened. This is kind of like a TLDR of what literally had happened to Kingsman 365 or 265, right? The drama happens after, right, when the video gets released, which is Kingsman's video. Kingsman releases a video after he's kicked out from the tournament. The video essentially is a VOD of when he and the team played scrims, which is where all of this started, along with some video proof of what shows CC makes a comment that makes it seem like she had something to do with Kingsman getting kicked off the tournament, right? In the video, Kingsman is suggesting Zaza switch off Widow and expresses how the 3 support strategy ensures the highest success rate for their team. He offers to tank, to support, to fill in anything that needs to be filled for the comp. He talks about how much he needs the money means to him, how he could help with his college and living expenses. The girl just fucking bully the guy.
They I think from the very beginning, CC it said something like, oh, "We're not going to win this tournament." Mm-hmm. Like they had already which great, but I'd seen someone mention on the comments like, if that's your mindset, why the fuck are you picking tournaments? Well, not even that. Why are you going after Kingsman?
Yeah,
who you like? Presumably you picked him because he's he's a good at the game. But if you're not even going to try,
you should have let him get picked off by another fucking team. Why the fuck did you pick someone who was really good if you were not?
If you went in just expecting to throw the fucking the tourney.
A little bit like on the topic, but a little tangent on the side. I remember seeing a video recently that Kingsman released. It was about some other content creator that was shitting on Kingsman, basically saying it's like, yeah, these people are getting together to create content. They don't care about the money of the fucking tournament.
Why are you making content if you're not in it for the money?
Yeah, if you're not in it for the money, why the fuck are you making content? Yeah. Like, I mean, like, if it was for content, then it would be kind of like a friendly fucking match or some bullshit like that. You get me? No, this wasn't about content. This was about money. There were stakes. It was fucking sponsored by NetEase. There was a reason why there was a money pool, you know, to pay out the winners. Like, this wasn't about content. And if you're getting into tournaments to make content, what the fuck is that, dude?
You're taking up a space for people that really for want that shot.
Really want that shot and potentially could prove themselves in this. This is what they need. This is like, you know, throughout the match, Kingsman is hard carrying a lot of the matches, while Zaza is lagging behind, sometimes ending matches with high deaths and low eliminations. There was a 0 and 5 that they're called. There was a meme. That's the
one I seen. Yeah.
There's a meme where they're calling it "I went Zazad." Like, it's no longer C9. If you know what C9 is basically something happened in a tournament where, like, in Overwatch, where they basically, like, they had it. They were in overtime and they had it, but they left the fucking payload, and so they lost the match because of that. So they call it C9. That's what the C9 is. So it's no longer C9. Now it's Zaza. So you use Zaza, basically, right? That shit happens, right? And so then the video creates a stir. Kaplunk, who is Zaza's boyfriend, releases a 24-page Google document explaining why he got Kingsman kicked. In the doc, Kaplunk details the reasons why they needed to get rid of Kingsman out of the team, citing that he was bringing negative morale, crossing professional boundaries, and other things. Kaplunk later then deletes the Google Doc.
Do you have the thing about the phone call that was not muted and they thought was muted?
No, I never saw that.
Because it was in the video that I seen, and when you said Cece had to step away to take a call, I wonder if this was the call. There was a call where I think she was on the phone with Zaza talking shit about Kingsman, and they did not realize, one of them didn't realize that they weren't muted. So if I remember correctly, Zaza or fucking Kingsman heard the conversation. This was before they had him kicked from the team.
Oh no, I didn't know about that. I didn't have that. I didn't know about that. So then there you go. CC releases a video response where she takes no accountability for her actions, blames Kingsman for bringing down the vibes and causing Zaza to go 0 and 5. It was Kingsman's negativity of trying to, like, get people to, like, go to a certain comp that made her go 0 and 5. His poor sportsmanship, his poor, like, you know, he was bringing down the morale. And that's the reason why she went 0 and 5. It wasn't her inability to perform or the fact that she was playing at 200, millisecond ping. It was Kingsman, you know?
It was a shitty attitude.
You know? Like, he wasn't being
It was that toxic masculinity.
Yeah, the toxic masculinity. He was just being not being a team player. The response was not taken well by the public. She receives backlash. CC releases a tweet. The
twit released a tweet.
CC releases a tweet in which she sounds like she's doing damage control by assuming responsibilities for her actions, but the response was badly received. People were citing previous moments where CC was acting very toxic and noted how it's common reoccurrence with her behavior. So, like, people are already fucking reading her and just, you know.
Did you see the stuff where they were posting, like, her racist comments, DMs and shit like that?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
it's not part of, but it's
just like
fuel to the fire.
Fuel to the fire. You already know, like, if the people already fucking knew this, then you already kind of, like, you know. So, like, CC gets drops from sponsorships and receives more backlash. Bazem ZB assumes responsibilities for his actions. He ended up saying something along the lines of, where, like, that's my bad.
He fucked up hard.
I was like, I made a decision based on information that I didn't receive the whole full story, and I just made the decision. I accept responsibility for that. That is my bad. There's nothing I can do about it now, but, like, I will take full responsibility for it.
If I was Kingsman, I'd be pissed at him the most out of everyone else.
Absolutely.
Because how do you just take one side's word for, you know what I mean? Like, why not investigate at all?
Absolutely. By this point, Kingsman has received, and this was 2 weeks ago when I got all of this data together. So maybe he's grown even more. But by this point, Kingsman has received a lot of public support. NetEase gifted him 15,000 in-game credits or more, I think it was. Marvel Rivals currency for more Magic skins. He received over $3,000 in tips and subscribers through his Twitch, and accumulated over 200,000 followers on Twitch. As of today, YouTube is sitting at 355 subs, and his Twitch is sitting at
355 or 355,000.
355,000. Sorry.
Okay.
355,000 subs, and his Twitch is sitting at 296,000 followers. This was 2 weeks ago. I don't know what it looks like now.
So what you're saying is we need to get into a tournament, have some racist Asian girl yell at us, kick us out of the tournament for our podcast to be successful?
Well, we have to be good though. If we're shit, we're not getting any public support from that.
You're decent.
No. Oh. Not tournament level, honestly.
God damn it! Why did I befriend you then?
This is a very fucked up situation for Kingsman. There's no denying it.
Yeah.
Like
I genuinely feel bad for the dude.
Yeah, because like the guy's talking about how he needs this money, he wants this money because it could help him pay with college and help him all of this shit. And then these girls are just fucking bullying him and just being like, "Yes, girl," like this whole fucking like very toxic, like kind of like, yeah, fuck that dude, kind of bullshit.
Honestly, like the most heartbreaking part, he seems so fucking jazzed about being in the tournament too.
Yeah,
like he was so like into the idea of the tournament, which made it so much more like kind of heartbreaking. Where it's just, and you know what? I think it's probably so relatable because at some point, unless you were one of these motherfuckers, and if you were, you can go fuck yourself. At some point, most if not all of us have been put in a group for a group project where either no one else or very few people wanted to fucking put in work, and you're stuck doing a shitload of work, and that's how I felt for him. Yeah. And I'm like, you just got a shit hand.
That just really sucked. And it like, I'm thinking about the situation, right? Where, and there's another girl that's basically, I don't even mention her, but she was someone who was basically, I think Luciana was her name or some bullshit like that.
There was another guy in there too, wasn't there?
I don't know.
Because isn't it 5 people? 5 or 6?
It's 6 people. But I mean, like the main drama is between
those 3. But I'm pretty sure there was another dude too.
But like Luciana was basically someone who was duoing with him, and I'm pretty sure that he fucking carried her and ranked her up to get to the point where she was tournament ready and stuff like that, and she just fucking threw him under the bus. The moment that she saw that, it was like, oh, this is gonna go bad for him. I'm just gonna distance myself from him, basically. And it was like, dude, that's fucked up.
There's no loyalty, dog.
It's like that was just like that was pretty fucked up. But I mean, like, this is a really bad situation for Kingsman, or it was a bad situation. It's all he made it golden right now.
It's no share of 40K, but he came out a whole lot better than everyone else did. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, yes, obviously the money will help, but hopefully the 300+ K YouTube subscribers and then however many extra he got on Twitch will help him supplement income.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The 40K is split 6 ways. How do you split that? How much would that be?
Close to 3K.
About 3K.
Yeah.
So 3K is what he would have gotten one way or another. But I mean, like, that's essentially he made that and more through.
He basically made more getting kicked off than he would have from
he would have made from the tournament. Yeah, right. I think the ultimate thing that's really fucked up about this situation is just the fact that this guy who was really into it, who really wanted to fucking do this tournament, was really trying to make sure that they all won. He was taking it serious. He wasn't fucking around, and he was just being like, yo, we have to do this way because otherwise we're not going to have a chance. He was just trying to fucking... He's the one who was fucking doing the best in all the matches and the scrims that they were having.
And I want to throw this in there. He wasn't being a Nazi about it either. He was trying to be very fucking cool, very diplomatic about it. These
girls were shitting on him, and he was just like, "Oh."
Because I can understand and I can get and see how someone constantly just being like, "Hey, change," gets annoying. And there were parts in the videos from what I seen, it's like it was getting annoying, but I don't fucking blame him at all.
Yeah,
because the level of frustration he must have been feeling, and it's just they just deadlocked. They just were fucking. They dug their heels in. Especially that Zaza bitch. And she's like, well, fuck it. Guess what? He has 6K and all of you have fucking nothing now.
And it was just one of those situations where, like, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him in particular that he had to go through that shit. But I mean, ultimately, in the end, he fucking came out winning out of this. Another thing, one thing that I do kind of like, and I'm not trying to be a fucking like a fucking simp or anything of that sort, but one of the things that I noticed, and I was like, because this kind of shit brought in a lot of attention. It brought a lot of people. I noticed the high influx of very like fucking incel types talking shit about like women in general like this and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not part of the conversation.
No,
don't make that conversation about that. The conversation is literally about those fucking three people, and that's it. Don't try to fucking include some sort of like fucking rhetoric about how women are this and this and that and bullshit like that. No, don't do that. Like,
look, I agree with you. Don't do that. But let this just be a lesson. Everyone just needs to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't want the incels to come in with that rhetoric, then don't give them reason to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And vice versa. Like, just fucking be chill with people, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a way that this situation could have gone down. Way, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't need to happen. Even if they were just deciding to go more casual about it, but it almost seemed like the moment after she fucking picked Kingsman, she just decided we're just gonna be fucking cunts to him. Like, there was at least from what I remember hearing from all the videos and his recordings, it didn't seem like there was any grace period where they were chill with him. And maybe I can give him a little bit of a pass because he was, like, this is a tournament we need. But again, it's a fucking tournament, and there's $40,000 on the line. Me personally, I would fucking love to have someone like that on my team because I know I'm not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just not a good look for any of them other than Kingsman.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, again, going back to, like, why the fuck would you pick him in your team if you weren't going to be serious about it?
Yeah.
You know?
Why even enter?
Why?
Like, okay, I can say that because the exposure.
Yeah.
But is this the exposure you really want?
Yeah. If you just wanted exposure, then just fucking pick a shit team so you could just be.
If you want exposure, do a bikini stream.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
It's like, I mean, you're a fairly attractive chick. Do something.
Yeah.
I don't fucking put on a bra and just bounce up and down for a little bit. Like, I don't mean to be sexist or derogatory, but it works. So fucking do it. You know what I mean? Like, don't.
She already does that though. She had her fucking Instagram basically is just full of that shit.
Well, then go back to that.
Yeah.
Stop.
It was just like it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't get it. But that is the end. That is basically it for what I have for that story. So, like, in the end, someone ended up winning, and I think that he deserved it.
Yeah, I feel bad for Kingsman. Aside from like CC and Zaza, that other dude, the dude running the tournament, that's so fucked. I hope Rivals doesn't do anything with him anymore.
I hope so too, because quite frankly, that was
a really fucked up.
That was a very shitty situation, and that's bad press for them.
Yeah,
because like you don't want to be acquainted with that dude anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, not like that.
With any of those players, honestly.
Yeah, any of those players, to be honest.
All right, I'll make mine quick, and it's a little bit on the spooky side.
Oh.
Potentially, quite possibly. I'll just call it. We'll call this the "That's Not Human" 911 call.
What?
Yeah. So this is fairly recently, and I'd seen it a couple years ago, like throughout the years since it's happened, and it shows up every once in a while, like on YouTube and on Reddit, and I'll see it, and I never really paid attention to it, other than like, oh, it's kind of a cool story, until Roanoke did one of his videos on it. I'm like,
shit.
This dude kind of researches, so if he's talking about it, then there might be some legitimacy to it. And he gave away, like, you know how he does his breakdown at the end. He gave away, like, he did it, and I wasn't satisfied with him. Like, okay, so there is something weird about this story if he's just giving like a generic explanation. All right, so on July 31st of 2021. This happened in Pender County, North Carolina. I couldn't find the dude's name. I don't think they gave the caller's name, but there was a man driving down Highway 210. And like I said, this is again North Carolina, Pender County. He was going roughly about 50 to 60 miles an hour. And this is kind of important because as he was driving down the road, the way it's described is it's just a 2-lane highway with thick woods on either side, to where it's like, shit. It's just, it's just kind of wall of trees. And shit. So he's driving down the road, and I don't remember the time, but it's at night. And he comes up to, he comes across someone that he says they're walking out of the woods, and they walk across the road, and he goes, it's a human figure, and he assumes they're human because he goes, they're dressed in really old clothes that almost looks like, excuse me, like Civil War era clothes.
Really?
And he goes, and you could see from like the top of the head, like from above the hairline, there's like streaks of what looks like blood coming down. So he kept going because he was kind of freaked out. He goes, he's a hunter. It wasn't an animal. He was very confident that it was a person. And as he kept going, he just kept feeling weird about the situation. So he called 911 to tell him, hey, around this mile marker on highway, what I say was 210, this is what I seen. I just want to let you guys know in case someone's out there so you guys can go check it out, right? So as he's on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, he's kind of like mulling it over with himself as he's talking to her, like, maybe I should go back, just to see if they're okay. So throughout the call, he keeps saying, like, I'm going to find, as soon as I find a spot where I can make a turn, he's going to make the turn back and go back, and maybe he'll be able to catch up with the cops. So before he can do that, this is while he's all on the line with the 911 dispatcher, there is a thud. He's in a pickup. There's a thud that you can hear in the background. And according to his account, it's something landed in the bed of his truck. And you hear him say, it's like, hey, there's something in the bed of my truck. And I will, hopefully we'll put the link in the description because the audio is there on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's something in the bed of my truck. And he guess opens, if you have like a pickup, there's like a little center window that opens up.
That opens.
So he opens a little bit, and he's able to look out there, and he's saying like it has a human face, but that's not human because he at some point he starts shouting, that's not human, and he doesn't know what to do. He's panicking. And so he starts, just like I said, panicking, and the dispatcher says, speed up and brake. So he does, and as he does that, whatever's in the back flies over the top of his car, through, past the hood, ends up in the road. He says he sees it get up, and it's spindly and skinny, and he goes, the joints are bending in directions opposite the way a human should. He goes, it stands up on 2 legs, looks at him through the car, gets back down on 4s, and then goes into the woods. So he books it, gets to the police station, gives a report. The police make notes of scratches and claw marks in his truck, through the top and all that shit. There was damage from it. And there's I wasn't able to find it because they didn't release this part, but apparently there was like photographs of all this shit. And they don't know what it is. They can't figure out. He sticks to his story. The police chief says, like, he heard the call. He goes, talking to the dude, he goes, he can't. He goes, unless he's a great actor, he's like, we don't know what it was. He goes, and even Roanoke, he was like, normally it's, you either see a ghost or you see like a monster. He goes, this story has both. Like, so Roanoke ends up saying it was a fucking bear at the end of it. But he goes, I can't explain the first part though. He goes, I like the bear part was the thing going into the bed of the truck and then the scratches. But he goes, like, I have no explanation for the first part of what he's seen.
Yeah. So
that's just out there in the internet right now. So that one of the best, if we don't link it, one of the best ways to find it is that's not human. 911 call.
I'll make sure to link it because that's really interesting.
And that like, it's a very short story, but that's the gist of it. Like, there is no explanation. There's no real. I mean, there's theories, but there's what
What
is it?
What is it though? Because he says it's spindly too, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's fucking wild, dude. That's crazy. That's interesting. It's almost like a fucking really.
It's some straight up X-Files shit, dude.
It's a really well thought out creepy pasta. You get me? Like
it is.
It's really great.
That's why, like, I enjoyed it, but I ignored it for so long, and I'm I guess giving validity to Roanoke because he seems to really research this shit, and and I was like, fuck, dude. And the more I started researching it, I was like seeing legitimate news articles from, you know, like they're smaller publications,
right,
but they're there,
and
they're all saying the same thing. There's like all this shit that you hear on the thing, and everything else is reported and it's documented, but there's no conclusion to it.
Yeah,
the caller's sticking to his story. Nothing's really changed. It's just that it just ends. Like there's no answer.
I mean, like I don't. Yeah, Roanoke Gaming does a really good job at fucking researching. He says, I think he has a fucking,
and he's pretty no nonsense too.
Yeah. Like he fucking what you call it? I think he fucking studied biology.
He's like a microbiologist. Yeah, he has degrees.
He has degrees on fucking like something to do with biology. So I don't like that fucker. Like I believe.
I trust his.
Yeah, I trust his sense of like fucking at least of what you call it, of him presenting things in a truthful manner. I guess
balanced.
Yeah. But that's crazy. Like, I'll look for I'll definitely post the link on the. Yeah, I think that's it for
that.
This.
Yeah, that was
because we're fucking running
a little bit long,
a little bit longer than usual. But is there anything you want to plug in for yourself?
Not. I mean,
or maybe a friends thing or something like that if you want to as well. It's okay.
A
friends thing, like a plug of friends. No,
they can go fuck themselves.
Oh, okay, fuck it then. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky. Twitter at ProChubbyChaser, and Blue Sky you can find me Chubby Chaser Pro. I've been streaming a lot lately, so on Twitch you can follow me Chubby Chaser Pro. Also, same thing with like all social medias, TikTok, YouTube, TikTok and Instagram. Just look up Chubby Chaser Pro and you'll find me there. For this podcast, we have a Twitter account. It's called IB2W Pod. We don't have an email yet, but if you want to, I don't know, make a comment or anything of that sort, just like tweet me on there or tweet us out there, and then we'll read it and we'll consider it. Again, like I said, like in the video or in the podcast of last week, if you enjoyed the interview of me or just like that segment of me interviewing people and stuff like that, let me know. I'll do it. You know, because like I mean, recording those things were pretty fun. So,
they are kind of fun.
They're really fun. But that is it for us.
Real quick, I got a question because we kept mentioning Twitter and shit like that. So it's not Twitter anymore, right? But back in the day when you would tweet something, you tweeted it. Now that it's X, what is it?
It's a post.
So fucking lame.
I know, right?
So fucking.
People stop taking Tylenol. Okay, we don't want to create those kind of people anymore.
It's the circumcisions. That's why you have a country full of people bombing kids because they don't know any better. Because they're a word that I can't use anymore.
All right, that's enough.
I didn't use a word.
That's enough. All right. There's a plan to hopefully releasing an episode next week after this one. We're not really sure, but we'll probably see you next week.
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll work it out for you.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Have a good night. Bye.
Intro-outro song is Wah Game Loop by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/4.0/